All right, a tale as old as time. We are going to talk about the potential Part 2 LR for this celebration. Now, normally we do not see a Part 2 LR for the November Dokkan Fest, but generally that's because this is when we see a crossover spot. Now, we could still see a crossover. The manga units might be a crossover. It's really hard to tell. I imagine, though, that we really do see a Part 2 LR for the celebration. Otherwise, our last banner until the Thanksgiving / December Dokkan Fest is going to be November 5th. That is when the manga units arrive. That doesn't make much sense to me. I feel like the manga units are just a bonus banner that we normally do not see, and you can tell by how crazy the value of that banner is. You basically can rainbow that entire banner in like 150 stones or something like that. It's ridiculous. So to me, it doesn't make much sense that that would be the case. So I say we're going to go and look at Part 2 LRs, and I think it makes a lot of sense when you look at it in retrospect that we actually will see a Part 2 LR here, and I'll go over that. But first, we'll start with the person who's been on the screen for the past minute or so, and it's doing Coup. Now, they're not my number one choice. I just have them as my first option on this specific list, but again, they're not my number one choice. Doing Coup, I think, might just be a sideline unit at this point, maybe a Prime Battle LR, which we'll be discussing a lot in this video because a Prime Battle LR is due within the next month or so, so I definitely expect to see a Prime Battle LR soon, and it could be a Daima related LR. We will definitely see, but I do think that Do and Coup could be a Prime Battle LR. They also could be side banner units to the adults whenever we get them. But my other thing is too is, again, they told us they were going to go in chronological order. They started with Daima Goku and Glorio. Then they went to Mini Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta and then jumped to Mini Super Saiyan 4 Goku. And Do and Coup is nowhere to be seen. The Tamagamis are nowhere to be seen. So I don't know exactly what they're doing specifically with them. Now, they technically are going chronological order, but they're just missing a lot of units in between, so it does make me wonder what they're doing. But they also did just release a Glorio and a Pansy free-to-play, so if they are free-to-play LRs, it actually does not seem like it applies to the chronological order. So I think Do and Coup for sure have the chance to be a Yellow Coin LR. I mean, it makes sense. They're definitely that kind of unit, but I actually do not think that they are going to be one. I think they're going to be most likely two things. One, a Prime Battle LR, or two, or I guess three things. Two, they're going to be side banner units to the Goku and Vegeta, or maybe a free to play, depending on how they use them. Or three, they're going to be the anniversary LR if we get the adults for anniversary. But again, I'm throwing them on here, but I think at this point, I don't expect them to be an LR, but I think there is more fitting people for it. The second person I have is the LR Gomah. Very similar to what they did with the LR STR Cell Max last year. I think Gomah has a real shot of being our LR. It does surprise me that at this point we might be seeing Gomah as a Yellow Coin LR, but I also think at this point I don't think we expected Mini Super Saiyan 4 Goku to take this long to release, and to me, right, I just don't know where you fit Gomah in at this point. If Daima's anniversary, there's no way you're gonna do part 1 Super Saiyan Adult 4 Goku and Super Saiyan 3 Adult Vegeta and then Gomah in part 2. It doesn't make much sense. Gomah feels like an oddball at this point, and it really does feel like they're just going to release the Adult Goku and Vegeta next to each other, which makes sense. So that means Gomah is going to be our oddball, and they're going to place him somewhere else. And most likely that's going to be this spot. Especially because, again, Gomah really can show up from any point between the introduction of Mini Super Saiyan 4 Goku to even after the introduction of the adults. So I think, to me, Gomah makes sense right now, but again, we don't know. Now, Gomah being here now would also mean that pretty much all we're going to be missing is the adult Goku and the adult Vegeta, most likely with side banner units of Do and Coup. Now, it doesn't mean that it's going to be the case. Maybe the Prime Battle LR is Do and Coup, and then maybe the side banner units are like a Dr. Arenzu and a Pansy or something of that sort. Or maybe just a Majin Coup with the cape. Like, I definitely think Coup is going to be a side banner unit, the more I think about it, because there's going to be like King Coup, the side banner unit, when he's doing that, and Do is going to be the side banner unit with him going Super Saiyan 3 most likely. So I think those two being side banner units does make a ton of sense, but regardless, or maybe the adult Piccolo, I don't know. There's still a lot they can do here, but I think Gomah makes the most sense here. It's a demonic power celebration. He would also be demonic power. Now, again, Gomah doesn't really have a home in terms of that. I mean, you're probably gonna be able to run him on Omega's team, so I guess it doesn't matter too much. But you know, I think that Gomah does fit the celebration details pretty nicely if we do get a part 2 LR here. And again, like I said, I just don't know where you release Gomah if you don't release him now. You could release him with the other two. I just don't think it makes sense. Especially because I do think the adults are coming for New Year's as LRs, just like they did with Orange Piccolo and Ultimate Gohan. So to me, it just seems a little odd that Gomah would be, you know, after. So I definitely think this is his time now. This is when we're going to see Gomah. I'm not confirming it. I'm just saying that's my suspicion and my theory because it makes the most sense. But just in case, also got a few more options here. Next, we have LR Dabura. When we're talking about demonic power, the demon realm, and all of that, we have to talk about Dabura. I mean, it doesn't mean that he's guaranteed to get the spot or whatever. I mean, we just are due for a Dabura. But I think overall, I mean, it doesn't matter too much. I don't think Dabura is going to be anything crazy. And also, it may feel a little odd, especially with the fact that we have a Gohan in part 1 and an EZA with, you know, the EZA Gohan. We have a mini Super Saiyan 4 Goku. Does Dabura really even fit all of this? Not really, but that's kind of the point of the Yellow Coin LR, is it doesn't really fit. It's just kind of there. So to me, I do think LR Dabura is possible. I would put him as the least likely option on this chart, but I'm just putting him there so I cover my bases to ensure that I've gotten everything possible that we could see during this celebration. But, you know, I do think that Dabura is due for a card eventually, maybe just as a random monthly DFE, but I also do think that him as an LR does make a lot of sense. In fact, if we don't see him now, I imagine we're probably going to see him closer to April. And, you know, with the April full slot last year, we got the Cell. Maybe the next year we can see like just the Great Saiyaman Gohan, and we can see LR Dabura, and maybe a Majin Vegeta goes in that spot. I don't know. The point I'm trying to get across is he's going to be a random release anywhere he's going to be anyway, so why not make it now? Again, it doesn't matter if he is here or not. I probably wouldn't summon for Dabura, but I just feel like when we're talking about this conversation, I have to bring him up. Next, we have, I think, a very likely option as well, and that's Garlic Jr. Now, I did think Garlic Jr. was going to be a solo release because a Part 2 LR does not make sense with Garlic Jr. But when I saw that we got Mini Super Saiyan 4 Goku and the EZA was a Kid Gohan, that really shattered the Garlic Jr. dreams. Now, again, I'm not like the big Garlic Jr. glazer in the world. I'm just saying, like, he's a card that's very underrepresented. There's 2 EZAs coming up that are both related to Garlic Jr., and he didn't even get a celebration of his own, which has those units in it, right? Instead, they decided to separate them out. So my theory is, if this is not Daima Part 2 LR, and it is a Part 2 LR, Garlic Jr. would be my first choice as a non-Daima Part 2 LR. Because, like I said, first, he relates to demonic power. Second, he relates to the Kid Gohan. Third, you could EZA the Int, Goku, and Piccolo. So you have a lot going on there. Garlic Jr. could help out demonic power with a Dead Zone domain or something of that sort. I just think it makes sense for Garlic Jr. to get a spot like that on here. Again, otherwise, I don't know when you're going to see a Garlic Jr. I think Garlic Jr., for the most part out of that, is not going to have much representation. So if we're going to see a Garlic Jr., this is the time to see it. But otherwise, again, like I said, I just do not see the point of Garlic Jr. being a part, or I don't see a future where Garlic Jr. is going to really get a card. I mean, I guess they could still, they can release him as another random LR in a future celebration, but I just feel like you have 2 Garlic Jr. Saga EZAs lined up. Why not release Garlic Jr. with them? So again, if we don't see Gomah, if we don't see Du and Coup, if we don't see the next LR I'm going to talk about in this spot, Garlic Jr. would 100% be my bet for this spot. All right, the final LR I have for us today is the LR Tamagamis. Now, the reason why I have him here, but more so I think why I have him here, is because it just would be really interesting to see what they do with them. I'm a little surprised that they haven't done anything with them in terms of playable cards. Now, they have plenty of boss material. They have all, again, the Tamagami 3 Red Zone fight, and the Daima Story event, all the Tamagamis you got to fight, tons of assets for them inside of there. But again, once again, I do have a concern and issue with them not actually making them cards, especially because, again, I think a lot of people were very excited, like, oh my gosh, you're going in chronological order and we just got the Super Saiyan Goku and the Glorio. That means the next person we're going to see is Tamagami 3. Oh, okay, we didn't see him, so maybe we're going to see Tamagami 3 after Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta or something, and we didn't even see Tamagami 2. It just was a constant onslaught over and over and over and over again, where we just did not see the Tamagami show up. So my theory is the Tamagamis are probably going to be a Prime Battle LR. All three of them together makes sense to me, because when you have that's it, I don't know, like, and look at all the Prime Battle LRs we have. They're like these I don't know, not the castaway options, but they're definitely underrepresented people, and I just do not think that people are very hyped for the Tamagamis. And maybe they are, but I just don't think, like, their categories are super limited, right? They're only going to be used on the Daima team or on artificial life forms, and that's really it. There is no point in that. So to me, I think Tamagamis make sense more so as a yellow coin LR more than anything else. But that is just me. But anyways, I want to hear what you guys think in the comments below. Do you guys agree or disagree with, you know, the LRs we have on this list? And let me know your predictions in the comments below. If you guys enjoyed these kind of videos, make sure to click the first link in the description. The second one's going to be all of my Dokkan Battle content videos in general. The first one's to my voice ones, and my third one's to my G Fuel link. So make sure to click all of those if you guys are interested, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.